Today we're going to talk about blended learning in a project-based learning classroom. Many people think that all learning has to take place in a brick-and-mortar classroom with traditional walls and a traditional teacher in the front of the room, but blended and project-based learning has changed all of that. Even colleges are blending learning of problem and project-based learning to get students out of lecture halls and into more meaningful situations. So what is project-based learning? According to the Buck Institute for Education, project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to an authentic, engaging, and complex question, problem, or challenge. According to the Buck Institute for Education, there are 8 elements of an effective project-based learning project: authenticity, challenging question, sustained inquiry, student voice and choice, key knowledge and understanding and success skills, reflection, critique and revision, and public product. Blended learning is where a student learns partly online and partly in the classroom, is in control of part of their time, place, path, and/or pace, and has elements combining the traditional classroom and the online classroom. One model of blended learning is the flipped classroom, where students are introduced to content online through technology at home, and then that lesson is used then in the classroom. For example, a student can watch a documentary about JFK at home, and then they do a mock trial for Lee Harvey Oswald in the classroom. The next model of blended learning is the flex model, where everything is very flexible in terms of the pace, place, time the student can use for learning. They can go between labs, collaboration areas, or classrooms depending on what they need to do in order to learn. They can learn at home or online. This next model of blended learning is the lab rotation model. This is so that students can leave their traditional classroom and go into a computer lab to work on online or collaborative learning exercises. This can work well for blended learning and project-based learning activities. The station rotation model is similar to the lab rotation model, but the station rotation does not just go to a computer lab, it also rotates to the other different stations in the classroom, which can be very helpful to a project-based learning model. So why even use blended learning with project-based learning? Well, project-based learning is great, but it can be made more effective and more efficient with the integration of blended learning. According to P21, project-based learning can go deeper and more rigorous with blended learning. Using blended learning in project-based learning can be very rewarding. You can incorporate the learning models as appropriate into project-based learning to make learning more engaging and more effective. One way to incorporate blended learning into a project-based learning is to flip the classroom. Provide students with material online that they can research at home. They can then use this information to develop and cultivate meaningful, authentic, real-world questions to investigate through their projects. Create a flexible learning environment to make a PBL more blended. Allow students to collaborate in the classroom and online. Let them set the pace and place. Set up blogs, Google Docs, or other online collaboration areas such as Popplet to let the students work together virtually. The station rotation and lab rotation models allow students to have more access to technology, which is great for everyone. The last 3 elements of a good PBL can also be done through blended learning. Online critiques and revisions through collaborative submissions through Google Docs or Google Classroom, and then reflections through blogs, on journals or online journals, electronic documents submitted to the teacher. The public product is the best part of a PBL because of the students' enthusiasm to show what they've learned. You can blend this by showing them how to create a website, how to create a Powtoon, develop a YouTube video, but the possibilities are as endless as the student's ability to learn through PBL and blended learning.